day 28, I think, is for us a moment on this pilgrimage where we will never, ever forget, as you will soon find out. But before we dive into day 28, I want to give you a little bit of backstory here. When you're on the pilgrimage, you pass through some major cities, like Pamplona we talked about, and the other one you pass through is the city of Burgos. And in Burgos, there's this absolutely beautiful cathedral that's in the center of the old city. And Patrick and I found ourselves, this is about a week and a half, 2 weeks, yeah. 2 weeks prior to day 28. And we found ourselves in this cathedral, just minding our own business, just checking it out, looking at the architecture and being present in the moment. And you know, we're just kind of minding our own business. And from across the cathedral, we hear, "Hey, aren't you Justin and Patrick?" Yes, like, do you answer that question? And so these two guys come up to us, these two young guys, and they say, "Hey, my name's Joe, and this is my buddy Richard. We're from Boise, Idaho," which is where we live. I had now relocated from San Diego to Boise, Idaho area. And so they're from our neck of the woods. And we're like, no way. Like, what are the chances of this? Like, we're halfway across the world and somebody from our hometown is here. And so we strike up a conversation with these two guys. And through our conversation, they said, "Do you guys need help along the way?" And of course, we're not going to turn down help. So Patrick and I were like, of course we could use help. And they said, no. Where do you really need help the most? And so we thought about it for a minute, and we said, you know, we're going to be coming up on our third mountain pass, and it's going to be one of the most difficult stretches of this journey, aside from the Pyrenees. And pardon my Spanish here, but it's called OCebriero, or OCebriero. I think it's the Galician way of saying it, but we call it OCebriero. And it's a third mountain pass. It's a relatively not tall mountain to climb, but it's incredibly steep. So steep that even doing it on foot without a wheelchair is going to be very, very difficult. So we said, you know what? Can you help us get up, at least try to get up OCebriero? And they said, all right, we'll meet you on day 28 at the base of OCebriero. So we knew we were going to need help. And so we said, all right. So that's why we needed to get there, because we had help waiting for us. And so skip ahead to day 28. We're in Villafranca, which is the night before, where Victoria helped us get there. And that day is going to be a very long day for us. We had to walk 11 miles, then climb a mountain. So it's going to be a very difficult stretch. So we make it all the way to the base of OCebriero, and we meet Joe and Richard, and we give high fives and hugs and whatnot. And we're at this cafe getting some quick provisions. And as we're resting there, we said, all right, time to go, let's go. And the entire cafe gets up. Everyone. And we turned to Joe and Richard, and we're like, who are all these people? And they said, they're here to help you. Well, what do you mean? I said, yeah, we've been waiting here for the last several hours. And as we've been waiting for you, fellow pilgrims have been coming by, and one by one, they all said, hey, what are you doing here? And said, we're going to get Justin up OCebriero. He's in a wheelchair today. And they're like, all right, we'll stop and help. So by the time we got there, there were 12 people waiting for us. So we meet everyone, and off we go. And we're going to show you some raw footage from our documentary. It's called I'll Push You, that just came out, of that day. And here we are. We just left the village, or that little village, and we're working our way up towards the trail. And the trailhead splits. We can either take a very, very steep road or a very, very steep trail. So everyone turns around, looks at me, and says, Justin, what do you want to do? And I said, life's never easy. Let's take the trail. So I said, all right, off we go. So off we go down this trail, and the stories we heard about it they were not kidding. It was so steep, I could not get my chair over it. I had to be literally carried up this mountain. It took 6 people to carry me at any given time. And as I'm being carried by 6 people, the remaining people are up scouting the trail or carrying backpacks or walking sticks or water or whatever needed to happen. And it's this absolutely beautiful human symphony of going up this mountain, and I'm being pushed and pulled and manhandled all the way up through, and the villagers are out looking at us as we're coming through this hamlet. You know, they're like, what's going on here? And by the time we get towards the top, we're escorted by the police. This like mountain rescue shows up out of nowhere, and they're like, we're gonna get you to the top. I'm like, okay. So, you know, they strap in and pull me all the way to the top. We picked up people along the trail along the way. 17 people in total helped me get up OCebriero that day. You know, I've learned a lot of personal lessons along this journey that I've been on. Many lessons we learned along the pilgrimage, but a personal lesson I've been really struggling with through the disease that I have is a difficult one. I mentioned earlier that, you know, from the moment I get up until the moment I go to bed at night, I have to be fed, I have to be cared for, helped in the bathroom, showering, getting my clothes on. I mean, pretty much every aspect of life, I'm dependent upon others to carry me through. And it's a very difficult journey I've been on, not only this pilgrimage, but in my own personal life. And my wife has been there from day one. Patrick has been there in my entire life since day one. But as I'm becoming more dependent upon others, you know, I've learned it's a very difficult thing to learn, but I've really been trying to struggle how to learn how to accept help. And it's so easy as, you know, it's in our human nature to help one another. You know, you do what you do because you see the potential in helping people be better and live better and have a better quality of life. And it's really difficult to flip that coin, to accept help. And I'd like to share something with you of something that was really cemented for me on day 28. It goes like this. When you deny someone the opportunity to help you, you deny them the joy in life. When you deny someone the opportunity to help you, you deny them joy. I saw that day how happy it made all of those people to get me up a mountain that day. There's some power in that, right? We got to let ourselves open. You have to open yourself to allow people to come alongside of you and help you navigate through difficult situations, either in your home life, your personal life, your work life, whatever it may be for you. I can tell you, when you open that door and let people in, there's so much beauty that lies within that.